For a champion, for a dynasty, the sharpest motivation isn't a future prize. It's the ghost of a past failure. For an athlete who has won everything, a record 8 MVP awards and was about to claim his 12th best player of the conference plaque, what could possibly still be the driving force? It's not the gleam of gold he doesn't have, it's the stinging silver of a loss he couldn't forget. What does it take to fuel the PBA's most dominant player? It's not the cheers or the glory, it's the painful, silent weight of a runner-up trophy. A trophy that, as the legend goes, he placed by his door not as a testament to defeat, but as a daily agonizing reminder. This is the story of how June Mar Fajardo turned a symbol of heartbreak into the secret weapon for his return to the all-Filipino throne. Before San Miguel reclaimed the Philippine Cup in 2025, they had to endure one of the most painful moments in their modern history. The year was 2024. The Beermen, the long-reigning kings of the All-Filipino Conference, found themselves in the finals against a hungry, determined Meralco Bolts team chasing its first-ever PBA championship. For weeks, the two titans battled. But in the end, in a gut-wrenching Game 6, the crown slipped from San Miguel's grasp. The celebration that erupted in the Araneta Coliseum was not for them. The confetti fell for Meralco. With just over 3 seconds left, Fajardo himself had hit a wild, game-tying three-pointer, a miracle shot to keep their hopes alive. But it wasn't enough. Meralco's Chris Newsom answered with a baseline jumper at the buzzer, sealing an 80-78 victory and Meralco's first-ever title. For the first time in ages, the Beermen were watching someone else lift their trophy. Fajardo, ever the sportsman, was gracious in defeat, but inside the loss festered. This wasn't just any loss. This was a loss of the all-Filipino crown, the conference that means the most, the true measure of a team's strength. For a competitor like June Mar, it was unacceptable. And so, a powerful legend was born. The story goes that Fajardo took the runner-up trophy home, but instead of storing it away, he placed it somewhere he would see it every single day. It was a constant physical reminder of what he'd lost, a silent sentinel that asked the same question every morning: what are you going to do about it? That silver platter wasn't just a piece of metal, it became a vow. The sting of that 2024 finals loss became the foundation for the 2025 redemption. A new season dawned, but the ghost of the last one lingered. At 35 years old, an age when many giants of the court begin to slow down, June Mar Fajardo quietly went back to work. The whispers about his age were there, as they always are. But those who know him understand that his career was never just about talent. It was forged in a relentless work ethic. His former manager at the University of Cebu, Adi Baldomero Estenzo, loves to tell the story of a young, gangly kid who had the height but not the skill. What he did have was an unmatched determination, first to arrive at practice, last to leave. That same fire, now more than a decade into a legendary career, was burning hotter than ever, fanned by the flames of that finals loss. Another piece of the Fajardo legend speaks to his ultimate ambition, the unconfirmed rumor that the phrase "win a Grand Slam" is etched on his mirror at home. True or not, it captures the mindset of a man who is never satisfied. The accolades and the records were history. The only thing that mattered was the next challenge. This mindset permeated through the entire San Miguel organization. Under the guidance of returning head coach Leo Austria, who was reinstated mid-season, the Beermen didn't just lick their wounds, they rearmed. The grind was immense, and Fajardo, as the team's anchor, had to lead by example. Deep into the 2025 Philippine Cup, during a grueling semifinal series, he sustained a painful calf injury. But fueled by the memory of that runner-up trophy, Fajardo played through the pain, showing his teammates that nothing short of their absolute best would be enough. The 2025 Philippine Cup was a war. San Miguel finished the eliminations as the top seed, a testament to their renewed focus. Their playoff path began with a quarterfinal matchup against the very team that had taken their crown, the Meralco Bolts. With a crucial twice-to-beat advantage, the Beermen didn't waste their opportunity. They exorcised the ghost of the previous year, dispatching their rivals, but conquering that demon only led them to a bigger monster. Waiting in the semifinals was their other arch-nemesis, Barangay Ginebra. What followed was not a dismantling, but an absolute dogfight. a brutal 7-game series that tested every ounce of San Miguel's resolve. Fajardo, gutting it out through his calf injury, had to watch as Ginebra forced a do-or-die Game 7 with a last-second game winner in Game 6. But in the ultimate test of character, San Miguel prevailed, booking their ticket to the finals. And their reward? An even greater challenge. Waiting for them was the TNT Tropang Giga, a team on the verge of basketball immortality. TNT had won the first 2 conferences of the season and stood just 1 series away from capturing the PBA's rarest and most coveted achievement, the Grand Slam. The stage was set. It was a clash of titans, San Miguel, the fallen kings fighting for redemption, against TNT, the juggernaut fighting for a place in history. The 2025 PBA Philippine Cup Finals was a showcase of heart, strategy, and sheer will. TNT, driven by the dream of a Grand Slam, played with desperation. But San Miguel, hardened by failure, met them at every turn. This was never going to be a one-man show. While Fajardo was the anchor, his teammates rose to the occasion. CJ Perez was a relentless force, a blur of motion and clutch baskets who poured in 24 points in the title-clinching game. And then there was Jericho Cruz. Throughout the series, Cruz became the X-factor, the spark plug who ignited San Miguel when they needed it most. He played with a fiery confidence, hitting timely shots and making crucial stops. His performance was so vital that he was deservedly named the finals MVP. He averaged nearly 14 points per game, but his value went far beyond the box score. Whenever TNT threatened to pull away, it seemed Cruz was there with an answer. It was the ultimate team effort. Don Trolano, Chris Ross, Marcio Lassiter, every player understood their role. They had learned the hard way that championships are won through trust and sacrifice. This was the championship DNA that the loss to Meralco had reawakened in them. They weren't just a collection of talent anymore. They were a unit, forged in failure and marching in unison. Game 6. The Phil Sports Arena was electric. San Miguel was 1 win from the championship. TNT was 1 loss from a dream turning to dust. For 2.5 quarters, the game was a tense back-and-forth affair. TNT was right there, trailing by just 4 points early in the third. And then, June Mar Fajardo decided the game was over. What followed was a display of dominance so absolute it left no doubt who the best player in the country was. Fajardo went on a tear, scoring 10 points in the third quarter on a perfect 5 for 5 from the field. He and Jericho Cruz, who added 9 points in the frame, simply blew the game wide open. The Beermen unleashed a massive run, pushing the lead to a commanding 20 points and breaking TNT's spirit. When the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard read 107-96. San Miguel were champions once again. Fajardo's final stat line was a masterpiece of efficiency. 24 points on an almost unbelievable 11 of 12 shooting to go with 12 powerful rebounds. He hadn't just won, he'd delivered a statement on the biggest stage. As the red and white confetti rained down, the memory of watching another team celebrate was erased, replaced by the pure joy of triumph. This was San Miguel's record-extending 30th PBA title and their 11th Philippine Cup. June Mar Fajardo lifted the championship trophy high, the heavy gold a satisfying replacement for the haunting silver that had driven him all year long. In the end, June Mar Fajardo's secret wasn't a complex training regimen, it was a choice. It was the choice to confront failure head-on, to let the pain of a loss serve as a constant source of motivation rather than shame. He proved that true strength isn't just about how you perform when you're winning. It's about how you respond when you've been knocked down. His journey to the 2025 Philippine Cup title was a masterclass in mindset. It showed that for a player who has already achieved GOAT status, the hunger can still burn if you find the right fuel. His legacy is more than just the numbers, more than the 8 MVPs, the dozen BPCs, and the mountain of championships. His true legacy is his character, a quiet, humble giant who, despite reaching the pinnacle of his sport, remains that same hardworking kid who was the first to enter the gym and the last to leave. What did you think of the Kraken's journey back to the top? Share your favorite moment from the finals in the comments below. And for more PBA stories that go beyond the box score, don't forget to subscribe.